So the animation industry has been a shit show. The world of traditional 9-to-5 jobs has kind of been a mess. My home is currently in shambles, and I, as an artist, need to find ways to pay this off. Today, I'm going to talk about the different ways you can make money as an artist beyond just a traditional job, especially now in 2024. After 5 years of working traditional 9-to-5 animation jobs as a storyboard artist, storyboard revisionist, assistant director, and writer, I've come to learn that at the end of the day, you only really have yourself to depend on. And I'd like to thank my 22-year-old newly graduated self for taking the leap of faith and joining social media to be able to support myself during times like these. Also, yes, I did finally update my hair once again, and one could say that these are just my grayed out hairs from the stress of 2023, but I'm trying to go into 2024 with some Cruella vibes. So first, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Skrintl, which is a platform that helps you visualize and break down complex topics that you can organize into a vision board or mind map. We'll be breaking down some of the ways that you can make money as an artist, but also be arranging them from options such as least time consuming, which means it can become passive, averagely time consuming, meaning some passive, some not, and then most time consuming, which is not really passive. These different ways will obviously vary from person to person as to how they will work out, of course, depending on your skills, your ability to market yourself, and how consistently you're going to put work into these things. But for the meantime, I figured it would still be helpful to just show you that there are options in life as an artist. So I previously made this mind map in my shit book, which I will then be putting into Skrintl so that we can all see together what you can do as an artist in order to support yourself.
So this is screen recording Michelle here, and we're going to use the Skrintl app to kind of organize our thoughts on doing this. I've at least kind of tried them out to just get a feeling of how much time it can take out of your day, which is why I organize this from least time consuming, average time consuming, and most time consuming. But for the least time consuming one, what I mean by that is that these different ways can either become or start off passive. You may have to work in the beginning for it to eventually become passive, or you can continue to generate revenue even when it's not immediately working. So, if you uploaded a YouTube video of a sketchbook tour you did, it might not perform well in the beginning, but you never know if someday the algorithm kind of pushes it out. And also, I wanted to mention, if you want to use Skrintl yourself to help you organize your art career, I'm happy to offer a 10% off discount code using code MEW10 down in the description box below, so check that out. So we're going to start off with digital downloads, which I'm going to make a box here for least time consuming, because all you have to really do when you do a digital download is you just make it once and then you upload it to your Etsy or Shopify. You can make art tutorial ebooks, art career tip ebooks. You can make art book ebooks of just like your art in general. You can make brush and pattern packs. You can do traceables for, if you're making art intended for people to learn and try to literally do a monkey see, monkey do situation. You can upload coloring pages, graphics for social media, events, personal or business use, or digital sketchbook PDFs, and presets for artwork, or raw PSD files for anyone who kind of just wants to flip through your layers and learn from you. And the thing about digital downloads that is great is that you don't have any production cost to do this, unlike, making a product for your Etsy shop. You have to get the materials, get the shipping supplies, and there's a cost on you, kind of leading to the next point, which is print on demand, which is, a little bit of a step above digital downloads, because yes, you still make it once, you upload to print onto the platform, and you link it to the shop, and then you promote to sell. There's still a little bit less work involved in this, but at the same time, I will say the difference is you kind of have to make sure that the item is at least delivered to your customer. You might have to do some more customer service in case it doesn't. Some of the stuff you can make with print on demand are t-shirts, hoodies, apparel, bags, totes, hats, socks, accessories, mugs, mouse pads, phone cases, miscellaneous stuff, and of course prints, stickers, pins. Nowadays, I think some companies are starting self-published books, calendars, planners, notebooks, and sketchbooks. So the only thing about print on demand I will say is that you gotta know your audience, because just because you make certain artwork for this, that doesn't mean that they are the people that always want to see your artwork on a t-shirt. You have to really cater what merchandise your audience cares about, and sometimes it's through trial and experimentation, but at least the thing with print on demand is that, again, there's no upfront cost until someone actually buys something from you. So that is the one good thing, is you can try to upload your artwork onto stuff and see if people are interested. And if it doesn't work out, well, guess what? You don't have a lot of additional stock sitting around in your room. So then next, this is kind of a new one that I didn't really talk about before because I just discovered it like last year. So on TikTok, you can upload TikTok Series, where again, you make it once, you upload it to TikTok, and you promote it by tagging it in your posts to sell. This may require somewhat of a substantial following because, you know, if you have people that aren't really dedicated to you yet, they might not want to purchase from you. Some of the things I've seen other artists on TikTok do are art tutorials of how you made blank. Or you can do mini exclusive series of, again, how-tos, or, you know, an actual series that has a narrative storyline of comics or animations. Or again, you can just upload a exclusive collection of artwork and animations. Another thing you can do is do exclusive video series of how you achieve something in your art career or your journey, or exclusive content from your life, something your followers may be interested in but maybe don't make sense to have on your main feed. Moving on next is physical goods, because once you create art, all you have to do is just connect it with a manufacturer. You might have to send some emails back and forth, receive and list your products on your shop, and then again, promote to sell. But I will say the thing about physical goods that starts to become more time consuming is because you have to package and ship it out. And some of the ideas of things you can do are pins, stickers, plushies, lanyards, and keychains. Notebooks, sketchbooks, journals, self-published books, again, zines, prints, custom artwork or commissions that you literally, package up and send to someone, or charms, clay figures, jewelry, handmade goods. A lot of these are pretty similar to print on demand, except for physical goods. Like, again, the difference is that you're the one packaging it and shipping it out. And my one caveat to this is that if you end up buying a lot of stock of something that does not sell well, you'll be sitting with that stock and trying to find ways to get rid of it, which is kind of annoying. Moving on to starting to be more average time consuming stuff. Exclusive content. You may have to make this a few times a month and leave it up on your platform and continue to promote it to attract a new audience. And there are ways you can do this on Patreon, Discord, Instagram memberships, YouTube memberships, and TikTok memberships. I know that's like super overwhelming because who has the time to manage all of these platforms? But again, that's why I would say, if you're new to social media, just try a little bit of all of them and see what sticks with you. So things you can do for exclusive content is work in progresses, behind the scenes, deleted or unused work, journal and life updates, podcasts, photos from real life, early access to your content, one-on-one interactions like consultations, live streams, Q&As, mentioning your audience in the credits of future content, or giving freebies, whether if that is digital or physical goods. So the reason why exclusive content is in the average time consuming is because personally, as somebody that has a Patreon, which you can check out in the links below, they kind of require a lot of maintenance. It's like, I find a lot of, the days out of the month, I find myself rushing last minute to create stuff, and you have to be really good at backlogging these things because it's kind of like a secondary secret social media platform where only those who pay, of course, get access to it. Moving on to consultations. So I started doing this last year, where I started doing email consultations, which has been honestly great. So if you are interested in a Patreon email consultation, again, check it out in the links below. But you have to actually, give in-depth feedback and criticism and think of what this person can do to improve based off of your experience in the past or your professional insight. So these one-on-one interactions could be through emails, phone calls, screen recordings that you send, voice memos, video calls, real-life meetups. Even though email consultations sound easier because you are typing to someone and you don't have to spend the energy of being on a phone call or like showing your face and talking, at the same time, when you choose your words and type it out, it actually takes so much more time than if you just literally sat on a video call for 30 minutes and you don't have to overthink everything you say, because if you make a mistake, you just move on. So I'm contemplating moving to screen recordings maybe in the future. You can always do portfolio reviews, art critiques, art career feedback, guidance, or just provide a community exchange artwork where you show them your progress, they show them your progress, and have an accountability system, or just helping with assignments and homework. And you can do this again via Patreon, Discord, direct email, or if you have a website or Calendly, which I noticed as a lot of people do, where you can just set up appointments with people and they just pay you and, you just have your little appointment. The only thing about this, I will say, is to caution yourself and make sure you limit the number of people and to set a boundary per month, as it is unrealistic to respond to everyone. Because for me, I will say I try to set my email consultations to 15 people a month, and you might think, oh, 15 people, that's so little, but trust me, 15 people is a lot to go through when you're spending all this time looking through their artwork and like writing an essay for everyone. That's like 15 essays a month. So I eventually had to cut it back down to 10 because I was like, I cannot do this. So moving on to continuing in the averagely time-consuming section, sponsorships and affiliate links. This again may require a substantial following and consistency in maintaining that following, which is why it's important to research the company and try and test their products to form an actual honest opinion. You do want to draft up a script, because even though it might sound fake that you have to do that, at the same time, you just want to prevent yourself from like re-recording yourself so many times. Then you have to edit the video. And what you have to do afterwards is you have to send a video draft for approval, which is what I have to do with this video eventually, and then post the video online. So I think like that's where most of the time-consuming aspects are for sponsorships. So then moving on to YouTube ad revenue. So you might be wondering, why is this after the sponsorship section? Because isn't this like kind of more of an automatic thing? So the reason why I put YouTube ad revenue to be a little bit more time consuming than sponsorships is because you gotta make the whole video. This takes a lot of time, especially editing it. So creating the video, uploading the video, and promoting it is going to be time consuming. You want to aim to film a video that's more than 10 minutes long, because I believe if you have a video shorter than that, it's not really eligible for ads, and you have to edit the video as well, which personally for me, that is more time consuming, and uploading it and then cross promoting it on platforms, which is really up to you if you want to do. And some topics of YouTube videos that you can do are reviewing films, books, media, social media posts of other artists, critiquing artwork, whether it's yourself or for others who ask for it, time lapses of yourself drawing and talking. You could do sketchbook tours, discussing your art journey, experience working as an artist, learning something new as an artist, or a day in your life or your art career or practice, or just commentary on the art community. Lastly, we're moving to the most time-consuming section, which, this stuff is the more ambitious stuff. Publishing a book, we'll start off with that because I've had experience working in this section a lot. So this might require previous experience in an art-related or writing-related field, and this might also take time to find an agent or publisher. And it's important to have a pre-existing base of work where people can refer to see your style and voice. And you want to have a pitch ready for an agent who will help you build a pitch for a publisher. So they're kind of like two pitches that you kind of have to build when you publish a book. The first one is to your agent, and usually once you get that one done, you're hopefully good for the rest of the time working with this agent. And then for every book deal that you get, you have to make a pitch for that too. So basically with publishing a book, there's a lot of free work that you make before even getting paid work. A lot of delayed gratification is involved with publishing a book, and payments only occur once milestones are completed. Schedules tend to be flexible, so that's why it's been easy for me to kind of juggle this with a full-time animation job at that time. But just be wary of how long it takes, because your pay will be diminished the longer it takes. So let's say you get a book deal that is like $50,000, and it's like, wow, if you think about getting a $50,000 bonus for that year, that's great, but that means you really have to finish all the milestones in that year then, because if you take 5 years to do this book, then that's really like only $10K a year. And royalties and international advances can also be an additional possibility depending on how well your book does. This is kind of more dependent on what happens after your book is published. But moving on to the next one is creating a course, which I am in the midst of trying to do. And let me tell you, this shit is not easy. This should be for people who have pre-existing experience and some sort of level of reputation. This will require filming hours worth long of content that involves you doing a demo and educating people. And by hours, I mean this could be like 30 to 50 hours worth of stuff. So that's a lot. And on top of that, you have to create PDFs to supplement the course. And you also have to create the artwork that would be the demo for the course, and then uploading the course and understanding the platform you choose. Because I know some people use Kajabi or Teachable or just join another school online. And then you have to promote the course online and consistently try to make sales by promoting it. You're going to spend a lot of time making this thing, and you don't have a publishing house to really promote this for you. You're the one promoting this for yourself. If you are someone that has, a reputation in whatever art industry you're in, hopefully that can help itself, but at the same time, even, the most experienced artists I know in animation sometimes struggle with selling their courses. Then moving on to conventions. So conventions is honestly probably going to be the more time consuming one in terms of energy draining, because you need your whole physical self there. You need to be there for this, and you need to really be on all the time. And the most energy draining forms of making money as an artist are the ones that involve my physical self being there, because sometimes I'm just like, why can't life be easy where you just make the art and that's it? But it's like, no, now you need to bring your whole body to this experience, because at conventions you have to prepare a stock of materials, you have to purchase the supplies that will help you at the convention. And if you're doing a convention tour where you hop around different conventions around the country or the world, you have to organize your own transportation and hotel stays. So you have to create art for stock of goods, you have to purchase stocks of goods, then you have to approximate your sales, you have to purchase your setup materials and set it up. Hopefully you have help with you. Then there's transportation and hotel stays if necessary. You have to interact with the audience, and you have to put on your happy face and be on and shake hands and repeat the same things to everyone that you meet. Then you have to either attend to panels or talks if you're attended to it after you've spent all of those beginning hours of the day talking to many other people. Then you have to make sales, sell yourself in person, and you also have to manage the payment apps, the tools you use to receive the payment. So moving on to next is hosting your own event, which again, very similar to a convention, except now everything is on you. So hosting your event, of course, may require a following or some sort of notability that people kind of knew you for before. This could be for book tours, which would primarily be organized by you, because fun fact, I learned that a lot of book tours is really organized by the author themselves and not the publishing house. Then you could do pop-ups at cafes, bookstores, or small shops that are willing to collaborate with you, or you can offer educational experiences like workshops or traveling and learning, like the potential Trova trip, which is down in the links below if you want to choose where we go on our future group trip together. Or you can do a live class where maybe it's a one and done deal where you just do this one time or a few times a year. Or you could do a sketch and draw in person, which I know a lot of people in LA do. Then moving on to commissions. It is a direct exchange of custom-made art for money. And I personally find that a lot of the times that it's really hard to have commissions match a livable wage, especially if you're catering to an audience that's not willing to spend thousands of dollars per artwork. And most of us are really just kind of charging in the 50s above to hundreds, which, you would have to make a lot of commissions. I would rather, do prints at that point. Things you can do for commissions are characters, headshots, profile pictures. You could do Twitch assets or social media assets, personal gifts, or freelance for a bigger project. Then second to last, finally, live streaming. So live streaming, I put this here because, again, it really requires you to put your full self into it. And I've been Twitch streaming for the past 3 months now, for anyone who has been watching. And sitting there for 3 hours straight while drawing and talking is such a draining experience. Don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed some of my time there for sure, but there are times where you're just literally dragging your feet and just being like, oh my gosh, I have to be on the camera, I have to put on a smiley face even though I feel like shit today, and I have to draw a picture and juggle some balls in front of everyone at the same time. So things you could do though when you're Twitch streaming is teaching an art subject. You could do a demo of a project you've been working on, or just casually doodle and draw while you talk. You could also do a Q&A session, real life stream of you living your day-to-day life, or do review or critiquing sessions of artwork. So live streaming is cool because some people do prefer that live in real-time experience, but I will say that at least you can still again make ad revenue off of your stream. So then lastly, this is the last one, live teaching. So teaching a group of students a subject matter for, it could be consecutive weeks or days. From my experience, I see a lot of people in animation teaching 10-week courses. What you can do is you can join a company or whatever, and you can have them host where you teach your course, or you can have your own platform where you teach your own community, which requires more work to build that up. But you have to be ready to be consistently present for 10 weeks in a row to review student work, do a demo, topic per class, provide class materials, assign projects and assignments, or simulate a work environment. So I would say live teaching is definitely an option, but just be ready for exhaustion. But this is again from my experience, and don't let me just kind of dictate what you could be experiencing. So Anyway, this is my board on Scrintl for any of you who are interested. I'm gonna see if I could post a link in the video description so you can get access to this and just kind of click through all of them. And with that, I'm gonna get back to the real life Michelle.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to learn how to start your art career and just need a bite-sized like PDF where it's kind of like a little coffee chit chat we're having together, I'm gonna include a link down below where just for today, we're gonna discount this so that it's only $1 and it can be accessible to anyone, but just note that it's only gonna be for today. But there's also an array of different products I have on my Etsy shop as well if you're interested. And otherwise, I will see you all in the next one. So thank you for watching. Thank you to Scrintl for sponsoring this video, and peace out.